Good morning, friends. What's up? Yuri here. Beautiful, beautiful sunny morning. Hope you're doing great. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you like selling? Do you enjoy selling? If the answer to that is no, then what I'm about to share with you is going to be very important. So stick with me for the next few minutes. And let me first start off by saying that if you don't like selling, that's always going to be your Achilles heel. Selling is the number one most important skill that you need to develop as a human, I think, especially if you want to succeed in business. You're always going to be selling something, yourself, an idea, um, a product, a service. You have to get good at selling. There's no way around it, okay? Depends. So with that said, I want to show you what to do instead to facilitate the selling process, especially if you're someone who doesn't love selling. So number one, let's just kind of reframe what selling means. Selling is serving, right? So if no one buys your thing, they don't get helped by you because you've created some amazing magic, whether that's a product or service. And if no one invests, they're not invested. We all know that free doesn't lead to anything. So when people pay you, they pay more attention. Okay, so we have to understand that selling it's the engine that moves everything. With that said, if you don't like selling, you have to become very good at marketing. Because the better you market, the less you have to sell. Marketing is essentially everything that happens before you have the sales conversation with a prospect. So in the world of a coaching business, most of us are going to have a phone conversation with a prospect. Everything before that phone call is marketing. This is marketing. You want to speak on stage, you want to speak on podcasts, you want to be on TV, you want to write books. All of that is marketing. A lot of health experts, because that's our bread and butter, that's who we serve. They're like, I just want to teach and I want to share my content. Congratulations. That's called marketing, okay? So everything you speak and type and do that is kind of in front of the curtain, if you will, if we're thinking of a stage, everything front stage before the curtain, in front of the curtain is marketing. What you do backstage with your clients is obviously delivery. But what moves people from front stage to the backstage is you peeling back the curtain and having a sales conversation to get them there. Now, the better off you are at getting people to be interested at pulling back the curtain. So the better you do a job around marketing, the more likely it is for people to say yes to wanting to work with you without you having to pressure them in the process. So there's a lot of, this is the biggest place where people get stuck. It's not even on the sales side, to be honest with you. It's the marketing. Because there's so many things you could be doing. You could be taking beautiful pictures of yourself and putting them on Instagram. You could be doing affiliate stuff. You could be doing Instagram lives like this, or Facebook lives, or YouTube videos, or podcast. You could blog. You could post all day long on social media. You could run ads. You could stand on the side of a busy street with a poster. All of that is marketing. And this is inherently where most businesses fall short, is because they try to do everything instead of one thing extremely well. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that if you've got a service-based business, if you're coaching clients, you need a perfect client pipeline in your business. It's as simple as that. If you don't have a perfect client pipeline, listen, you're gonna struggle. And I don't want that to happen, okay? So perfect client pipeline, as a reminder, is we start off with a process called predictable prospecting. Instead of you manually posting on social media, you leverage the power of advertising on Facebook and Instagram to put your message in front of the exact people you want to speak with and help 24/7. That's where it starts, okay? If you want to buy speed, that's the name of the game. If you want to go slow and struggle, then you can certainly post organically, and if no one sees your stuff, you'll know why. Right? It's the algorithm. It's just the name of the game, guys. Facebook and Instagram, which is the same company, it's a pay-to-play platform, especially if you don't have a huge following already. It's going to be very, very challenging to gain a lot of traction in any length of time using free posting on social media. So from predictable prospecting, we invite people to the next stage in the process. And in the context of this conversation today is the most important piece. I call it teach to sell, not teach to teach, teach to sell. This takes the form of a masterclass, webinar, online training, whatever you want to call it. And this is where you buy back the vast majority of your time. Because if you're sick and tired of explaining what you do over and over and over and over again, you have one piece of content, a free masterclass, a video that people watch that educates them, inspires them, informs them, and indoctrinates them, and filters the wrong people out and only attracts the right people to the next step, which is then to book a call with you. So the only piece of content you need in your business, and I say this because we've done this and we have clients that are doing 8 figures with this one thing, is a good webinar. That's it. Now, you can certainly expand beyond that, but if you want to build a 6-7 figure coaching business with a lot less headache, you need one really good webinar, and you need to basically have a perfect client pipeline so that you can do what I'm saying here. So why is the webinar so important? Well, I had a conversation yesterday with one of our clients on our daily offer call, and she was asking I've done webinars in the past, and I'm wondering why, yours has a lot of slides, right? And I was like, yeah, it does. And there's a reason for that, because I've been doing webinars for 15 years and I know exactly how to make them convert. And I've tested micro webinars, 15, 20 minutes. They don't convert as well, right? Our current webinar is an hour and a half. Now, here's the thing. If someone doesn't want to watch that webinar, guess what? They're not a client of ours. They're not a perfect client. And they're not a perfect client of yours either. I asked my clients yesterday, how many of you guys have watched Star Wars, right? How many of you guys have watched Star Wars? Everyone lifts their hand. How long is a Star Wars movie? 2 to 2.5 hours? Okay, so what's the big deal about an hour and a half webinar? Oh, and how many of you guys have watched all the Star Wars movies? Yeah, how many hours collectively is that? 25? 25 hours? What about Lord of the Rings? What about all of that stuff? Just think about this for a second. People will consume what they're interested in consuming. If they're not interested in your thing, they're not going to consume it. It doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, like if it's a 10-minute video like this, people are already leaving. That's because they're not interested in this, and that's totally fine. But if it's a bleeding neck problem that they have to solve, and you have the solution to that problem, I promise you they will watch the whole thing. One of my best webinars of all time was 3.5 hours. And it wasn't live. I'm talking about a recorded evergreen webinar. But the key here, guys, is you have to do it properly. And the thing is, you might say, we have so many people come to us, they're like, oh yeah, I've done Facebook ads before, I've done webinars. I'm like, great, why are we speaking? Because obviously you don't know what you're doing. No disrespect, but if you had the results you want, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And I don't care if you've done a webinar before. You can have a car. Does that mean it's a Ferrari or a McLaren? No, it has 4 wheels and it can get from A to B, okay? So you need to understand that the devil's in the details, and there's a massive, massive gap between seemingly obvious things that most people think they know and what the top of the top are doing to produce the highest possible results. Michael Phelps, okay, he can swim. Can you swim? Yeah. I swim. I can swim. I can front crawl. I can breaststroke. Does that mean I'm an Olympian, like an Olympic gold medalist? No, right? It's the same thing. So we have to be reminded more than we need to be taught. And when a lot of people come to us with that foundation, we're like, great, you've built some basic skills and now we can amplify that very quickly with you. And most often they're like, wow, I've done webinars before, but this one's different. I understand the psychological nuances that, again, we teach our clients through our process on. That makes all the difference. So again, the webinar, you have one piece of content that everyone has to go through, like a sieve if you're draining pasta. And only the right people are going to continue on to the next step, which is to book a call with you. When they book a call with you, they're already pre-sold. So now you don't have to do any heavy selling. Now it's just working out some details, you interviewing them to see if they're a good fit, not the other way around. But if people come in and book calls with you without any context, you're toast. then you have to get into hardcore selling all the time. And it's draining, it's a waste of time. And you want to be using leverage and technology as much as you possibly can to pre-suade people, if you will, and pre-inform people before they have a chance to speak with you. If someone wants to speak with me, I'm like, great. About what? You want to work together? Terrific. Watch my webinar, and if you're fully bought in, then we can talk. And by the way, you'll talk with one of our coaches because that's our process now. So if you don't like selling, you have to become better at marketing. The better you market, the less you have to sell. Okay? And we do that with a perfect client pipeline where you leverage a really, really good webinar that, again, might take you a couple of days or weeks to put together, and then it's done. Like right now, as I'm doing this, our webinar is doing its thing. And when people watching it, some people are gonna be like, I'm out of here after 5 minutes, and others are gonna be like, what, this Yuri guy's onto something. And those are the people that as they get to the end of the webinar, they're more likely to book a call and more likely to work with you, okay? So that is all for today, guys. I hope this makes sense. If you want help with this stuff, if you want to have a bit more leverage in your business to be able to attract clients much more predictably, send me a DM. We do this every single day. This process that I'm sharing with you has generated more than $100 million for our clients who are all health experts, practitioners, coaches who are building virtual coaching businesses. If you want better results, if you want faster results, if you want bigger results, send me a DM. Happy to have a conversation and see if it might work for you as well. All right, guys, have an amazing day. I'll speak with you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hey, did you enjoy this episode? If so, I've got a great free training to help you get more clients and grow your virtual health practice or your coaching business, however you like to define it. I may have alluded to this before. It's called the Perfect Client Pipeline, and it's our proprietary 4-step process that will help you predictably and consistently get clients literally on demand 24/7. Now, I know I make it sound easy. Obviously, it's not, but it is simple. And I want to show you how it all works. If you're a health expert or a practitioner who knows you can be doing more in your business and you just want a better way to reach more clients without the grind, and by the grind, I mean posting on social media all day long or creating content no one sees, I understand it's exhausting. So click the link in the description below. Let me show you exactly the Perfect Client Pipeline, how it all works, and how it's been responsible for generating more than $100 million for our clients who are health experts just like you. Click the link below, and I'll see you there.